What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. Today's actually a little bit different. We've got not just Nando, we have a special guest. We have Nando, and we have Liban Ali.
The boys.
The boys. I want the zoom in on the boys.
Yes. There you go, guys. Yeah, we got the boys in. I've been saying for a while that I should get more people on the podcast, and obviously we've been blessed by this amazing guy. Liban, how the guys about yourself?
Yeah. Okay, so I'll take this seriously for a moment. So yeah, so hi everyone, my name's Liban. I'm a content creator on Twitch and YouTube. I do a lot of reaction videos, discussions, gameplays, reviews, etc. Just as many things I can possible under the sun. Very creative. That's me, content creating all day, every day.
All day. Yeah, guys. If you're on YouTube or SoundCloud, there'll be links in the description down below. And if you're on Twitch, I'm sure you can find it on Twitch. The tags on the screen. And obviously Nando, we all know who Nando is. He loves his collectors. But go on, Nando, give yourself that intro.
Away. Okay, so my name is ShinobiNando, also known as ShinobNando. I am a YouTube content creator. I think I'm funny, apparently, and I also do Twitch variety streams. You can find me on YouTube at ShinobiNando, doing unboxings, breakdowns of editions, not just collectors, but also the standard edition where you can get the most freebies and the best price or the cheapest. And also I do guides and reviews, believe it or not. And sometimes I join up with these two idiots and do a podcast.
Awesome pre-alpha gameplay.
Pre-alpha.
All of it. So yeah, that is obviously Nando. What you guys been up to this week? Been up to anything fun?
I've been packing to move. I've been playing my Nintendo Switch and sadly missing my consoles because I traded them in for next gen. As we all know, it's the time of recording 2 days away before I get my Xbox Series X. So yeah, just patiently waiting.
Oh. Playing Ni no Kuni, right?
We're playing, Ni no Kuni. Never completed it the first time around. I don't know at this rate if I'm going to complete it the second time around because next gen there's so much coming out. I really want to get back into Yakuza. I've like become such a mega fan of it overnight, and obviously Destiny. I'm addicted to that still, even though everyone judges me for that. Yeah,
Destiny's not too bad. The story, this main campaign's fun. When there's no content at the end of it, you get a bit annoyed.
Green. Yeah, it's the green, the grind.
Yeah, it's the grind. And Liban,
Just waiting for my PS5. I have to wait over just a week now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you UK.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, UK filth. So
yeah,
that's what we have to do, unfortunately. But yeah, that's literally what I've been up to. I haven't actually been playing anything new. Actually, that's a lie. I played well, it's not really new, but I played Crown Trick. I never heard of the game the other day. I've got it on Switch.
All right.
Really like it, man. It's kind of hard, but I really do like it.
Never heard of it. What is it?
So it's a roguelike RPG thing. That doesn't make much sense to me. Yeah, so you play this character who wakes up in a place called the Nightmare Realm, and is confronted by a crown, a literal crown, by the way, a talking crown, that you apparently have to team up with, and you're going through these dungeons or labyrinths, which because they're procedurally generated, they change every time you play through. And obviously, as you go through them, you pick up weapons, boost your attack power, etc., fight bosses that can become your familiars. When I mean that, I mean you can actually use their skills.
Okay, that's cool.
That kind of game. Yeah, it's that kind of game, but it's hard. I found it hard anyway. So
I'm gonna have to check that out later because I love my roguelikes. I've actually been playing Hades, which is amazing.
I want to play that.
Yeah.
Diablo clone?
No. Oh boy. No. So Hades is it's a roguelike RPG with dungeon-esque parts of do you know like how like Binding of Isaac and all that all works out? It's pretty much very similar, but by
Right.
was it Super Giant Games? Guys who made Bastion? Yeah, Super Giant
Right.
Games.
Yeah.
So
Bastion Transistor, yeah.
yeah, so they made Transistor and Bastion, and both amazing games. They've obviously done something completely different with their unique art style, with an amazing soundtrack, and it's like you said, it's rock hard, and it's actually really really good. So far, unbiasedly, because currently Final Fantasy VII Remake is my game of the year, for obvious reasons. If
Very biased.
If Final Fantasy didn't come out, this would be my game of the year. It's that good.
Oof.
Like it's fantastic. Nothing's touching anything until this came out, and I got it on Epic Games for £5 during the Halloween sale. They gave it a £10 coupon, and then it's already in sale anyway. So it's like, oh great, I've got a load of money saved. So that's awesome. Yeah, if anyone hasn't checked out Hades, make sure you do.
Do you think you'll get a Game of the Year nod?
I hope so. It deserves it. It really does deserve it.
Just for the hat.
It's on what? Most platforms. So it's even on the Switch. That's the best bit. It's on the Switch. So if you wanted to get out and about and play it on the move, you can. And it's a perfect game to do it, personally. Other than that,
I've been that isn't on the Switch. Everything's comes
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Well, probably will. Give it a year.
Yeah.
Give it a year when
Sony's got their claws off of it. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they'll be like, we're doing a Switch port.
and even then, it'll be the cloud version. Literally.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, in a world where The Witcher got onto the Switch, I'm sure anything can.
Oh my god, I can't believe that's just wizardry. It's literal wizardry.
If it runs well, I've never seen it, but it's fine. I'm sure it works perfectly fine.
It's the barely functioning edition.
Is it badly? Does it run
the
really
Switcher
bad?
edition.
I just heard like the textures are really like.
I've not played it personally, but I've heard a mixed bag of things. Of some people like, oh, it's not too bad. Some are like, I couldn't get past getting off of Roach. So.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, no.
If there's any Switch users, please let us know how your life is with Switcher, because I'm a bit on the fence. I'm not willing to spend full RRP on a game I've already got on my PC.
Yeah.
I'll say other than all this jazz, as you can see, my display, it's on the wall. Amazing. I've obviously got the Final Fantasy Cloud and Demon Slayer displays that I've had added to my background because I was bored of the plain white wall. That's pretty cool. But that's enough about us. What has been going on? So if you actually didn't know, guys, we've actually got a topic today instead of just gaming news. Usually it's just like, oh, what's Xbox doing? What's Nintendo doing? None of that today. We know next gen's coming. So we're going through games that was given a second chance and ones that we think deserve a second chance. So we're going to go off it's not the biggest one, but the biggest recent one been announced was Anthem. Anthem's getting their 2.0.
Well, eventually.
Yeah. Eventually. It's
some year.
It's what, 2022? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we've all played Anthem. Me and Nando definitely have. We played the hell out of it and found out there's nothing at the end of it and cried inside for about 5 years. God.
Your Roy Mustang build.
Oh, it's so good. I started clicking away at people and it blew up. I was like, yep, I'm down with this. That's it?
Good. There was just nothing to do in that game. There was just absolutely nothing to do. And like the reward, like it's a looter shooter, and the loot is just boring. There's just absolutely like, oh, I got this gun. It's the exact same gun. And there's only about like 20 guns in the game, and then the exotic versions are just literally like the same, but it does 40% bonus damage. Like, yay! You didn't learn anything from games like Borderlands or Destiny. Whereas, like, if you're gonna make an exotic gun, call it exotic, make it like shoot lightning or fireballs or I don't know, hamburgers or something like that, like Borderlands.
Liban, did you play Anthem?
See, I didn't play Anthem, but I bared witness to it crashing and burning as it did. Like literally to the point, like I remember seeing a tweet where there were just copies of the game being sold for like £1 in like CEX or something like that. That's how bad it was, literally. Like it's the first time I've heard, like, obviously Nando, you mentioned there was nothing to do, like boring loot. I wonder if anyone put that in their review. You know, like this game has boring loot. Like that's wild. I honestly thought it would be 2021, but you guys saying 2022 is pretty surprising. So I feel like that's a little bit late for researchance.
Oh, that's what we were saying yesterday.
Tweet. Yeah,
we said it's a bit late. I've actually been going through some of BioWare's blog, and by the looks of it, the updates they're doing are quite significant. I'm expecting how. We'll have to go into the others in a minute, but like a complete rework of the whole lot. New UI, new everything. Going off of their blog, they've actually put a thing on there about their loot and equipment and skill trees and stuff.
Yeah.
And they all reworked, all of it.
Completely.
So,
it's like an RPG.
It is. So, for example, with the loot experience, it felt like a drag push. You're constantly grinding for these legendaries that you never got. Like literally, it's like 0.0.1% chance, and it took the hours. Now they're increasing the frequency of loot drops. Obviously, there's that chance that the probability goes increasing up. You've got the new vendors that have unique like loot tables and stuff. You can modify your loot for actually re-rolling inscriptions. Something I mentioned on stream when I first was like, "Can't I re-roll this?" No, you can't. You just got you pick up the right one. There's obviously going into more depth of creating new looting experiences and more rewarding ones with the accessibility and immediate effect of like the higher legendary stuff. And then the surprising bit, they've reworked most of the guns on most aspects, and they actually are including a new UI. So it seems pretty cool. If it works, great. But it's like we agreed. Is it too late?
Damn, maybe at this point, they just shouldn't call it Anthem. Just call it something else. Wow. It sounds like a whole new game to me.
To be honest, the amount they're doing, it might as well be.
Yeah, it looks like they've just gone back to like they might as well just release it as Anthem 2 or something, because it is completely redone. The javelins have a level up system.
Yeah,
because that was like, you got to level 20, you're like, what do the levels do? Nothing. Well, then why am I leveling up? Because every game needs an XP bar progression. Yeah. Another thing about the loot was like, you picked up the loot and you're like, oh, I got a gold. And like, what did you get? Well, I don't know until the mission's over. Like you only got to see what you unlocked when you went back to base, and then it like did the loot box thing, even though it wasn't a loot box because you knew you got a gold. Like blah 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 blah, blah ching. Oh, you got this gun, and you're just kind of like, why can't I just, every other looter shooter, it's about in the moment. Like, oh, look at this gun I got. All I knew is I got a gold blob. Yay!
That doesn't make any sense. It's
like,
like, okay, you picked up a whole bunch of stuff, but we're not gonna tell you until it's all said and done.
Yeah. There was no mission or raid or strike. What do they call them? Strike mission? Specific loot either. So like, there's one where you fight these people called the Scabs, which are like a bug-like race. Like bug people, and they had like an armor set that looked like them, but you couldn't earn it in game. You bought it from the microtransaction store, and people were like, why isn't this just like something I can, like, even if it's cosmetic, just give me something to grind by doing this strike. Like there's a gun, like I can get a scab gun, or I can get like there was a bug, an actual bug race like the Hive or something like that. Where you're like let me get like a new knife for my interceptor that's like the blade of one of the bugs or something like that. Something to grind, even if it's cosmetic, just something. Or like your helmet, you like took the bug's skull and like exoskeleton and strapped it on your armor or something like that.
Just little things like that. No, nothing.
None of that. It was like a vinyl at best that just said, I beat it. It was a little symbol.
It was nothing rewarding, which apparently they're sorting out. I'm actually on the latest blog right now, which was when 28th of October, so very recent. Like I said, they're going through the Javelins rebuilds, gameplay, and all that. They've actually experimenting with a new choice system, a new loadout system, and different customization of builds. So there's an actual specialization tree for each class now. Finally, why didn't they add that in the start?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not being funny. I know I'm a storm and I've got all my powers, but I can literally just shoot like anyone else. I'm like, nothing.
Yeah,
really
there's
cool.
no difference between you and me.
No,
There's
nothing.
no like specializing, like, oh, my javelin specializes in fire, and then you could have been Roy Mustang. It's just I equip fire mods.
Just
Next
a
mission, I
skill
can
tree.
change that.
Yeah, just like a little skill tree, but nothing.
And the interceptor, the scout class, couldn't go invisible, and I had a massive argument with another content creator about this. He was like, "Yeah, but it's a game about mechs. Why would I even care about, like, I don't even think the interceptor should exist." I'm like, regardless, the fact that it does exist and it's the stealth class and it doesn't have a cloaking mechanic in a game about like you can wrap, and like he's like, yeah, but the technology doesn't exist. I'm like, no. So these are people that use like the anthem, the magic of the universe, and puts little like diodes on the storm's arm so he can create a thunderstorm and summon a meteorite, right? Uchiha Madara style. But you can't you wrap your head around these people also being able to create a cloaking mechanism when we're like close to that in real life. No.
Yeah, no. It was.
You don't. How do you have a stealth class? Like, I get the deep, like, it's a melee DPS class, but it's the rogue, isn't it? It's just the same as the Colossus was the tank.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll get like an assassination tree, and we can finally get cloaked. And when you
I really do. I hope they do get it.
Like
yeah, I hope they do. Like I said, I was actually on that side. I really enjoyed the game. Yeah. There's some niggly bits that we've gone through which they needed to change, which they are, but all in all, it was a fun game. But the end game was tragic.
Everything, not even just the end game, just
my
a
new
normal
favorite
mission.
word.
I know. I had to drop it in for you.
A new mission, like a genuine, like a generic
bad
mission.
games. Tragic.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
You know what? It sounds like to me maybe it's either the game was just poorly planned, or it was rushed out. It's just one or the other.
BioWare rushing out a game? Never. Not like they released a game called Mass Effect Andromeda and didn't rush that out. But it's fine, guys. They got a collector's edition, so they got the little remote control car to keep everyone happy. It's fine.
You leave my remote control car alone.
There we go. I knew he's gonna do it. I knew he was gonna say something.
But obviously, at the same time, with all these blog updates and stuff, it's promising. At the very least, it's promising. Regardless of the fact they are doing it, and I can understand why they probably wouldn't do it in 2021. If you think about it, 2021 is pretty stacked in terms of releases now, because everything got delayed into that year.
Yeah, and if it's all confirmed, then it's gonna be bonkers. Like,
so like,
in what
if
world
that works out, like if that actually works out, then in a way it's smart for them to do it the year after. I guess, because you have a bunch of other games that you're probably more excited about in 2021, and Anthem will not be at the top of that list. Not even probably in the top 10.
No, it's like it's like how with December, now everything was in December, and then Cyberpunk went, we're gonna delay, and everyone's like, I'm out of it. I'm not competing against that. It's like so much got delayed.
The medium.
The medium. If the medium were honest about it, they're like,
no.
They're just like, no.
Which is always the safe way to do it. And like I said, 2021 is stacked. Like, a lot is coming out. And no offense to BioWare and Anthem, in a world where, like, if they went, oh, here's the Mass Effect Ultimate edition with all the whole remastered. Oh, and then there's Anthem. No, don't bother. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm a bit biased.
No, you're on the money.
But I think that's the way it is.
It's not the right time. You don't release it with next gen and all the game. I mean, to be honest, now would be the time to release it. Actually, when I think about it, November, because so many things have been, like you say, pushed back to next year. People are gagging for something to play, and with EA Play coming to like Game Pass on PC and Xbox, there would probably people be go like, I just got my PS4, I just got my Xbox One, or I just upgraded my PC to the
Mm,
3080, 3070, and just be like, might as well. Do
yeah.
you know what I mean? I'm waiting for Cyberpunk. I might as well. I don't want to play Valhalla. Might as well. But 2 years from now, I don't know
Mm.
if it's like I don't know
It better be
because it
revolutionary if it is, because I just
No
don't
Man's
think.
Sky like
They'll have to.
did it, but
Wow, it's funny you mentioned the words No Man's Sky. So the next game that got a second chance was No Man's Sky. And it wasn't a little fix. It was a massive fix.
it's
This
just an
game,
overhaul.
yeah, this game is literally, for me, the biggest comeback in gaming history. No game has done what's happened with them, as far as I'm aware. In a world where they went, the small dev went to get E3, literally pulled off probably one of the best parts of the conference, and then watch it
Yeah.
tank is heartbreaking in my opinion.
You made the mistake of over promising and under delivering though.
Mm.
That I think that was the issue. He promised us literally the stars and gave us like Minecraft in space. That's none of my business.
I wonder how much of that is on Sony's part as well, because I feel like No Man's Sky is definitely a game that deserves to be at the forefront. Like, but I feel like it's just the way they marketed it as well gave a lot of the wrong impressions on what kind of game it was going to be when it came out initially. Like even like I remember like they were even showing it off on like Jimmy Fallon. Like that's
Yeah.
how much they
Mm.
believed in No Man's Sky. It was
Yeah.
nuts. So yeah, but I think like Sony had definitely had a part in it too when it came to it going down like the way it did.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
I really disliked its initial gameplay loop. It was very evident early on that it was completely like I know survival games are not my cup of tea normally, your Minecraft, My Time in Porsche, stuff like that.
Mm.
But this was felt epically like pointless. Like why would I even go to another planet? It's just the exact same thing all over again.
Yeah, and this is
Now,
I was gonna say, now this is where it gets interesting. Just like you said, they were pre-seeded or pre-generated. Everything was amazing. Well, we didn't get that. Now we come to what we're at now. So much has changed. It's bonkers. Like everything got a complete overhaul, a brand new UI, actual multiplayer with friends. Imagine that. Which is also sounds amazing. It literally is such a good upgrade. And now they've gone further with Origins, the 3.0 update. So, what have we got in this? Are you ready for this? Because it's a big thing. So they've got new planets.
go on.
They've got new territory, ternary stars and binary stars. That's got a nice upgrade. They've got dramatic landscapes, which actually look amazing. Gets better. Free next gen upgrade.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
damn cool. I was like, okay,
Like,
I can get behind
the next
this.
gen version looks amazing.
It does. And then
It's so damn good.
yeah, and then it gets even better. They add the whole weather. They've added the whole weather variety, volcanoes. They've added all that into it now. I was like, man, this is amazing. Was it they added like swamps and marshes? They've actually got proper scenery and everything now. And I
There's
was like,
underwater bits and everything.
yeah,
Isn't there?
there's everything. They've even they know how amazing this game looks now. They've added photo mode. You know
Yeah.
you're confident in graphics when you're dropping in photo mode. We've seen how Spider-Man and everything else does it.
Yeah.
And then they added different, like, was it storms? I think it was. Like they had like firestorms and lightning storms and all that. It looked fantastic. I was like, man, I can't wait to come back to this. I'm purposely not going back to it yet for the next gen upgrade, so I can play it and see what it's like on a console. So I know this looks amazing on PC.
Yeah, same here. Literally, like
Yeah.
like these guys, yeah, like all the hate that was directed towards them was insane. Yeah. If you think about it, like just at insane levels beyond just about a game or development and things like that, people were just losing their minds for one reason or another. Like for with that kind of thing, I wouldn't blame most devs if they were just kind of like, okay, do you know what? This didn't work. This is what happened. Forget it. Let's make something new. Just move on from it. Like get away from it.
I
So
agree.
props to them for just like staying in there,
Mm.
just staying in there, keep working on it, update after update after update. Now it's one of the best. It's one of their best games. Like it's one of the best current games out there.
I can't disagree. Obviously, I know there'll be people out there like going, "Don't worry, we've got Elite Dangerous." Elite Dangerous is good, but it's not that.
Be finished?
Wow, the next game is Star Citizen. Is that ever going to get released? Probably not. That's like the biggest meme I've seen in terms of getting a game coming out. And then you got No Man's Sky, who was like, "Well, we'll keep going and knocking in and hope we get the good impact." And I've literally just the second seen it. They're adding 32 player multiplayer.
What? Really?
32 player multiplayer, cross platform.
Yeah,
that is bonkers. I was like, yeah,
that is pretty crazy.
Yeah, I was like, wow, fair enough. You've caught me here.
Sounds like it's time for a space adventure, lads.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
I know, yeah. Looks like we're doing a community night.
Yep.
Space.
And guess what? Nando, appreciate this. It's on Game Pass. That's pay for it.
It is on Game Pass. Game Pass!
Game Pass!
And I know people will argue this because they're like, well, why when you got PS5, you've got trigger feedback and what 3D audio is it? The 3D audio? I was like, come on. Yes, it's good.
Not pay for it.
But yeah.
Because not pay for it.
Yeah, no, this is it.
But it doesn't matter where you get it, really. Even if it is good because, like, Liban's getting obviously PS4 first. I'm getting Xbox Series X. You're getting both, but it doesn't matter because we could all play together cross-platform, and that's how you were saying last night. That's how all multiplayer games should be.
I agree.
In 2020, 2021.
No, I completely agree. It should be.
I got PC Game Pass as well. So
yeah,
if it ever came to it, yeah,
it's on it. It's on it. It is on it.
Yeah.
So I played it. But yeah, I'm purposely going to go to the console just to see how much it pushes. Because if it's close to the PC, then I'm like, yeah, great. I'll just do that instead.
You know what? This poses an interesting question, right? Ooh. Do you think if Anthem put in as much effort, right, as No Man's Sky did to try to turn it around, do you think it could have done better? Do you think it would have made a difference?
Yeah.
I think they are doing that amount of effort though. For it. Like honestly, you need to go after the podcast and read the blog for yourself and see like the leaked kind of screenshots and the screenshots they showed. Like it's completely revamped from scratch almost. That's why I say like call it Anthem 2 or I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it is literally like the game that they meant to release.
So from what I understand, obviously, and let's just call it Anthem 2, right? So that's what's coming later. I'm talking about now. So obviously with No Man's Sky, they continually updated after months. So there wasn't this period of time where No Man's Sky was just out of the picture. It was just always there, just getting better and better and better and better. So this is what I was hoping. What I was thinking that Anthem should have done as well.
Yeah, no,
so
I
they
agree.
stay in the conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it totally should have. Instead of just typical. It sounds bad, but typical BioWare EA. Oh, it doesn't work. Not my problem. Drop. They don't. Instead of trying to fix it, it's like meh, is what it is.
Oh, it doesn't work. Tragic.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh well.
I know. My Sky's been out
since.
Play it? Well, yeah. There's apparently people who still play it. Me and Nando actually went back to it. There was a small player base, and then we stopped after that. But the big thing, obviously, we got be made aware is No Man's Sky when it came out in August 2016. So it's had a fair amount of years of updates and that. I know Anthem. I'm not trying to defend it. It's tragic. It needs to actually do something and update it when they're not. But I guess the way they're looking at it is just keep going back and taking COVID as an advantage to be able to do this. So maybe we'll get what we deserve in 2022. If it's too late.
This is what it should have looked like. This is like the concept art as well. I love like looking at a game and thinking like, this is what your concept art was, and then what was executed. Now it is closer to this. That's the thing. Like now we have something genuinely closer to what I see here, like the snow and the storms and everything.
It's funny you mentioned that. I completely forgot that COVID affected development just for a second there. I was like, okay, maybe that's why it is 2022. Like, yeah, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, it's a tricky one.
I was so disheartened with the game. I didn't even realize it came with a comic book by Dark Horse, because every collector's edition has a comic book by Dark Horse. But yeah, and of course I did get the collector's edition. Actually, like a little novel as well. What the hell? What happened? There was so much hype and hope behind this game. I mean, there was. Everyone was like, "This is gonna be like the next big thing," and like this is gonna. It's one of these games that come around every once in a while that everyone's like, "This is gonna revolutionize gaming, and this is gonna set the benchmark."
This is gonna be the greatest game of all time. Why do I sound like an old person? Like, yeah, that's how long I've been playing Anthem.
One day it'll be good, you'll see. We're all old and grey. They finally released it.
We got it, guys! Finally!
Where's my glasses?
Oh my god. One day.
I've been waiting for this game for 35 years.
Oh my
Anthem is going to be I think Anthem's going to turn into like the new Kingdom Hearts. Every like decades, a new patch of it's going to come in, like, oh, finally, and then
Anthem 1.8.
No. But you know what? Just bringing it back around. Props to No Man's Sky. They did amazing. A lot of things happened. Like a lot of things happened where I wouldn't have blamed them for just dropping it, moving on, but they didn't, and they deserve the success they're getting from it now.
Yeah, I agree. Hello Games done such a good job.
Hello Games.
I know.
Should change it to that. Hello Games.
Hello Games.
Yeah, Games. They've done such a good job. And like I said, 32 player online is mind blowing for me. I know people are like, oh, Call of Duty and Battlefield do it, but unfortunately,
it's in a contained area.
Yeah, COD and Battlefield and them first person shooters don't have anything on this amazing game. Like it has galaxies in COD.
Exactly. I'm gonna take 32 members of the boys to another planet. Let's go.
We could do it. We do it. And they've enhanced all the building facilities as well. So it's just amazing. So yeah, next gen we're gonna do it 100%.
USS
well done,
the boys.
Well done.
USS the boys. 100%.
Well done, No Man's Sky. Jeez, what a turnaround, man.
Yeah, they have done such a good job. But going on to the next part of amazing jobs that company's done, Final Fantasy 14.
Yes.
Right.
People don't realize this. I don't know why people do not know. Liban, you didn't know last night, did you? Or was it Shanimal? Somebody didn't realize like Final Fantasy was a Second Life game that started off as an absolute garbage game, especially off the back of Final Fantasy 11. And
no, that was me. I remember that was me.
Yeah.
And then they released Realm Reborn, and it was like massive resurgence. Now one of the most popular MMORPGs on the planet.
Yeah. So Final Fantasy 14 1.0 was horrendous. Absolutely horrendous.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I don't have much experience with that game, so I'll be leaning on you guys to tell me what actually happened.
Wow. Here we go.
Yeah.
In a galaxy far, far away. No. So yeah, Final Fantasy 14 had released whenever it was. Long time ago.
It says here 2010. Is that
2010?
Right?
Sounds about right. They released obviously Final Fantasy 14 1.0, which was it literally looked as bad as Final Fantasy 11. Just dated graphics, dated everything. It didn't look or play very well. Like it's proper clunky and just unoptimized. I was like, I can't play this. This is literally unplayable. Obviously, some people were like, "Wow, it's not that bad," and it was terrible. And then they went, "Do you know what?"
Though.
Yeah, they just like, "Do you know what? We're gonna redo it." And then Realm Reborn, as we know it today, dropped, and just that plus what the 3 or 4 expansions we've got now.
To say strength to strength.
Yeah, they've had an amazing
now,
composer of everyone, and then they've had different developers do different story art for the expansions, and they've just got bar Stormblood. They've all been fantastic to a degree. And now I hear, and it's literally in my eyes the best MMO currently. Nothing touches it, in my opinion.
There's something else on your list that takes actually the number 1 MMO spot, not out of personal opinion, just out of base players and stuff like that. But we'll get to that later. Yeah, Nate, why don't you're the Final Fantasy player? Why don't you tell us what actually changed?
Everything. So it had literally everything. So it had a whole new model of scenery and characters. All models and was all changed and redone. A whole new UI, the skill tree system, the class system. Literally is a brand new game. 100% like they've rebuilt the brand new game. And obviously each expansion gave you better things, more worlds, new classes, and it's improved over time. Now we've got a game where literally you could be, if you could think of a decent class back in a Final Fantasy game, you could probably be it. Nando's like, I want to be a ninja. Yep, be a ninja. I'd be a black mage, play a black mage. And this is the best bit. What people don't, a lot of people should realize, but not many do. It's actually free to play up to level 60, and they give you the first expansion for free.
That's recent though, isn't that?
That is this year they did that. But that's the thing. And I was like, yeah, that's amazing. And it's cost
looking at this like,
yeah,
I could see how much of a dumpster fire it was. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, its player base plummeted.
Yeah,
oh
no, it was.
Let me read this out. Let me read this
out.
Yeah,
crack on, go.
Yeah? So the release of the game sparked immediate player backlash. In addition to its negative critical reception, some of the controversy was produced by the use of gameplay features unusual for the genre. The main complaint by players was the user interface, followed by problems with the performance and aspects of the gameplay. So they expanded the 30-day free trial, so doubled it up, so players can see the updates to the game and maybe hopefully get them to stick around. So in December 2010, it was announced that Tanaka and Komoto had been removed from their posts as producer and director, with Tanaka taking full responsibility for the game's problems. That is, oh my god. So the PS3 version was indefinitely delayed until they fixed it. Until they were happy with it, they delayed the hell out of that.
So Realm Reborn, basically.
Yeah, it was.
Damn. That's, wow.
Yeah, and unfortunately, guys, because of tech issues, like we don't have the normal display screen. We usually have like some B-roll going across the comparisons. We don't have that tonight. Same way, my camera's really high up is because of issues as well. But yeah, it was literally a train crash. It's just so bad. But again, like Hello Games did, they went we go back to the basics and go from here. And they've made
to the drawing board.
They've made such a good game. Such a good game. Like the storyline, just on its own, is probably up there with one of the best Final Fantasy storylines of all time. Like I'm not even joking. Don't get me wrong, the console games have great storylines, but for something that is that long in terms of lifespan and still going and still growing,
yeah, it's still going.
That's impressive. Like WoW's, I think, as far as my WoW's just started dipping here and now and there, and I can't touch WoW now because it's black hole of sadness.
I think that's the benefit of, I'm gonna call it long-term booking. You know, if you know wrestling, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean, yeah.
The long-term booking, you know, because they could literally be like, okay, this is how it starts. This is potentially the end point, if there even is an end point to this, and just fill out whatever they want in between. They're like, it's very different than, I guess, a console release where they're like, okay, we can only do X amount with this much space and the story has to fit within that. So sometimes I guess there would be some discrepancies, but when you've got something as open as that, I guess you have a little bit more flexibility in regards to how you wish to take it forward, and it just makes a better product overall, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it looks just me just catching up on it. So they literally rebuilt the game from the ground up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And the best bit is cross-platform between PS4 and PC. There are rumors of it coming to a certain Microsoft console, but the rumors have not been confirmed, so I don't see Sony letting them push out a bit more anytime soon. But just console
Especially after
between.
16's announcement.
Well, yeah. I don't think we're going to get it.
That was a shock. That was a shocker for me. But yeah.
But that is what it is. What it is at the end of the day. That's what's got to be. That's what it's got to be. But it's on PC. It's on console. They haven't confirmed what they're going to do with the next gen upgrade for PS5. But I assume it's going to be at least backwards compatible, so you can still play it.
I was going to say, surely it's just like you can play it on the ultra settings that PC has or something like that.
Yeah. Like, it looks beautiful as it is. So just a small upgrade of that would be plenty. Like I said, yeah, free to play till level 60. And obviously after that you pay your subscription, you just continue from the same thing. It's not like you lose anything. Literally just carry on with the same character and move from there. We actually played, me, Tero, and Nev, we played a bit of it, and Duty, we all played a bit of it in Discord together. We've been trying to get Nando, but he's just been stubborn child.
No.
And now he doesn't even have a PS4, so he can't even play it.
No.
But
no, Nando is officially a Switch streamer now.
True.
Yeah, that's all I do. Switch.
That's all
Switch
he
games.
does is Switch games.
I'm getting the Switcher 3 as well.
Yeah, his new handle is Switch Nando.
Switch Nando.
Switch Nando.
Switch ShinobiNando.
Yeah.
That's it, guys. Nino Kuni all the time.
But no props to them, man. That's like, in comparison to like No Man's Sky, obviously Final Fantasy, they gave this game what obviously Anthem is doing now. So that gives me more hope that whatever Anthem does come out with will be a lot more successful than the original release. They got, like, obviously for this game in particular, they got rid of I was mentioning earlier, they got rid of the original producer, the director. They got the guy from Dragon Quest to jump in instead.
Yep.
And obviously the game is so much better now.
Like 13 million players or something like that.
Yeah, it's
something daft.
Yeah. It's massive how
it's too popular for Sony to let go, man. It's way too popular.
No, it is. It really is. And obviously Nando mentioned it earlier. There was another MMO that did exactly the same.
Yep.
You can crack on with that one.
Tamriel Online. When that game first came out, it suckered a lot of people in because it basically borrowed the UI of Skyrim and was like, it's kind of like the Fallout 76 situation where they basically went, hey guys, it's going to be Skyrim with your friends. Come one, come all. Let's all play. And then it was just kind of like the story was garbage. The interface was garbage. The class system didn't really work. I believe there's a lot of other. The PvP was the main focus. Like the whole thing was like the different, like it was set that far in the past. It was, the Nords, the what are they called? The Nords, the Dark Elves, etc. One alliance, and then Wood Elves, High Elves, and then in the middle was the Imperial capital, and that was the PvP area, and that was kind of like the only focus of the game was just blah blah blah. You're this guy that's been cursed by one of the Daedric princes to come back to life, and now you're just trying to rush towards the center. And now they've kind of gone off and they've added tropes and staples of the franchise of Elder Scrolls. They've added like werewolves in the latest one and vampires. They've expanded it a lot. They've made it what it should have been, like an MMO RPG, not an MMO RPG focus, PvP focus.
This is the thing. Weird. They tried to make, as much as people hate to say it, they tried to make like an Elder Scrolls RuneScape. Just didn't work.
Yeah.
because that PvP area is like the wilderness of RuneScape. I was like, no, it does not work. I even had access to the alpha and beta, and every time I went to the same chest to pick up some loot, the chest fell through the map, and I couldn't continue with the main quest. I was like, so I can't.
Back in the
continue?
day,
There you go.
when Nando, did events and stuff, I got a promo copy and I never touched it. It was I did. I played it a bit as a Dark Elf, and I was like, this is
Yeah.
absolute garbage.
Yeah.
I did not like it.
It came out at the wrong time as well because WoW was obviously on the up. This thing called Final Fantasy was crawling out of the woodwork, and you got this broken mess in between it all. I'm like, no, this is not for me. And I played a lot of MMOs, so I was instantly like, this is garbage. Bye. Out the window.
I mean, from what I know, it was like. So tell me about you guys, obviously, that have experienced it. So its initial release, it was like, it was a garbage game, but it also had a premium, right?
It had it's you had to subscribe. It wasn't that there was a premium. That's what Tamriel Unlimited did. You had, and the subscription was absurd. You'll probably have to Google it. If I Google, I'll go all kind of funny colors. But like you had, like it was more expensive than like Xbox Live and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was forced you down it. Yeah, it was expensive.
Oh shit! I mean, what I'll do, I'll read you a quote from PC Gamer. So PC Gamer, when it first came out, gave it a 68 out of 100. So they wrote that it is an MMORPG of moderate scope with a few good ideas, but cautioning that okay isn't good enough when you're facing down this much of a premium. So see, when you guys are telling me it costs more than Xbox Live, like, what?
Yeah. No, that game definitely should have started like free to play, then pushed on like a premium version, but they went balls to the wall straight from the start, and
they're like, it's the Elder Scrolls. People are gonna pay for this.
Yeah,
let's just do it. And what happened?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. They tried to sucker people in by basically being like, look at Skyrim Online. Like that's what I mean. The user interface was basically Skyrim.
It was,
but you didn't have any of the. And now I get that it's an MMO, so you're gonna have to have your kind of traditional classes so people can party up. But it was like really weird class choices. You couldn't be like the stealth archer. How do you not have a? Or if you could, it was really rubbish, and
But then the overhaul.
And then Tamriel Online came out, like it's free to play, cosmetics you can buy, and they really pushed the microtransaction, the Crown Store when it first came out. They really pushed it. I remember working for Game, and they were just like, "Oh, you gotta sell these crowns." And I'm like, "Oh, please, God, no, don't do that."
Like,
Nando, microtransactions.
One of the biggest, like, you know me, I love my collector's editions, but even this got me like, what the hell? To play the Imperials, you had to get the collector's edition.
They forced that down their neck as well.
So you had to, an option craft, The Imperial edition gives players the option to play as an Imperial, craft Imperial gear, convert existing gear into the Imperial style, and gives an Imperial horse, and the Mudcraft of Vanity Pets. But they locked an entire race, like one of the more popular ones, because people like to create themselves, and the Imperials is kind of like Roman army baseline. And they didn't do it. They you couldn't beat them. You had to pay like £190 edition in order to do it. It was or to get the digital upgrade.
Yeah.
We all love when people do that to you.
I know. It's like that burning dog, the dog in the fire meme. It's like, it's fine.
This is fine.
But
that's wild.
Yeah.
What the hell, man.
And unfortunately, the thing about it is, it stung obviously most ESO or Elder Scroll fans anyway. But then to then go and the gameplay wasn't good. It wasn't. It stung me so much. I'm actually scared to touch it now. Like I know that the game.
Still won't touch it.
The game's really fun. It's on Game Pass as well. I still won't touch it. And then they go, oh, here's the expansions, like was it Greymore and all that? They all start filling them through. But the expansions like full price games. I was like,
yeah. Do you know what?
Okay.
we were discussing this before the podcast about getting actually, as an influencer, actually getting emailed off devs. It's one of the few codes where I've been offered rather than asked for. Was the Greymore expansion, and even I was like,
yeah,
once bitten, twice shy. Like, which is funny because we're supposed to be talking about second chance games, and from what I've been told, it's phenomenal, and it is now currently the most played MMO player base wise.
Yeah, and this is the thing I was about to say.
Or has it been overtaken?
I don't know what it is now. At one point, it skyrocketed. I know it did. But one thing I was a bit up in the air about before we started recording was I won't touch it because I'm that worried about it being burnt by it again. Like, imagine getting so invested, paying £50 for an expansion, and then it's just nothing's new. I'm a bit scared to do that. But one of my friends actually does play ESO online quite frequently, and he said that because of the whole overhaul and everything that's changed just by one of the expansions, he said it's a must try game. Obviously, maybe again a series for the boys, but
the boys.
Hence why it's mentioned on this, because it had a terrible start like all the other ones we've previously mentioned, and has been overhauled and deserves a second chance of getting played. Like I said, guys, it's on Game Pass. No harm playing it if it's free, I guess, unless you're me and don't want to get burnt again.
So
see, when greed is taken out of the equation,
yep,
that's what happens.
Yeah, true.
And the funny thing is, they'll make more money now. But so in terms of actual popularity for 2020, WoW has made a resurgence because of the new expansions, etc. But Elder Scrolls is the second most popular. And then it's Black Desert.
Really?
Yeah, because it's free and it's
okay.
Yeah, it has a huge
Black Desert.
I did not expect to hear Black Desert on that list.
No.
Guild Wars 2 is still going strong.
Guild Wars 2's got a very good player base. I played Guild Wars 2 and it's a fantastic game.
Do you know what's going to surprise you at 5? Have a guess what 5 is.
Hold on, wait. Let me get ready for this.
I think I'm going to take the guess, and if I'm right, I'll be amazed. It's going to be Star Wars: The Old Republic.
RuneScape.
Wow. Okay, it's not.
It's because it's free.
Yeah.
It's out on mobile as well.
It is. Yeah. It's more.
Then it's Final Fantasy 14. So it's Final Fantasy 14 has dropped from like the top 5.
Which usually I'd be like, I don't know about that, but I'm actually quite happy with it because every MMO has a toxic side. WoW is the biggest one. Not like literally, there's a 99% chance, in my opinion, that you're gonna get someone toxic in any of your instances. Final Fantasy, on the other hand, has the nicest community I've ever met. Nicest. Like, I remember when I first started, I went into a dungeon and said, "Look, I'm tanking for the first time ever since WoW. I don't know what I'm doing." And the guy's like, "That's cool. We'll tell you what to do." And every instance, every raid is exactly the same as that. That people are happy to handhold you because that's what they've crafted. Then that's what you want from a game, right? You want to enjoy it, not get moaned by little Timmy going, "You're not doing enough DPS. Get good, scrub." Just no.
Get good, scrub.
Exactly. It's just not a playable experience that anyone wants. But mentioning the whole word of influencer and content creators, a game that came out of the woodwork from 2 years on was Among Us.
Oh, yes. That is a poster child for what Liban was talking about last night in Discord, guys. We were talking about a tweet, the infamous tweet that said content creators should pay for their license in order to stream or make content, and the devs don't owe them anything. And one of the biggest things that debunks that is the fact that Among Us went from a player base of 1,000 people or 1,000 sales to like the most watched game on Twitch right now. And the devs just being like, we'll add more content. Please wait.
Yeah, they actually cancelled their sequel, and we're just going to we're just going to look on the face of the normal game we got, which is very fair play to them. If they was going to make a sequel and then it's like, you know what, this come out of nowhere, but do this one, great.
Yeah, I bet they're like, what?
Yeah.
Like literally out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That game has just gone from, but that's the power of YouTube and Twitch and content creation in general.
Yep.
Like, it's free marketing, word of mouth as well. Somebody you trust, right? Like, if
It's
don't trust Nate, but if you trust me and Liban if we say a game's good.
That's because you're a bit suspect, Nando, and you're hiding in events waiting to kill me.
I'm always sus, mate. I'm always sus.
It's a bit sus.
I'm always sus.
Yeah, look, you see, he's got the knife ready. He's ready for it, chat. Look, he wants the blood. But no, Among Us is a great party game with friends. Like, we've played it in Discord in the past. We played it in someone's charity stream. It's got a very, very good concept. And obviously now I've seen a load of other people come out with their little games of exactly the same, trying to carbon copy it. But I think Among Us is
It always happens.
a nice little game. Obviously, people are like, well, does it deserve a second chance? Well, it kind of already got its second chance because it went from nothing to everything in
But that's the
space.
weird thing.
Yeah.
Because all these other games we're talking about, the devs came back to the game or took the game and went back and revamped it. Among Us was good. It just didn't have the marketing push or whatever. And it's just a unique one where, like you say, like if it weren't for popular streamer A and YouTuber B or Jacksepticeye or something like that, Markiplier, it still would have been like one of the like bottom of the barrel Steam games.
I agree.
It's free on mobile. They've not done anything. It just
worked.
It got a second life through just random happenstance.
Yeah, they're working on the sequel, and they're like, oh, okay, maybe not anymore. So yeah, I think it's a good little game. I'm happy to see. It's nice to see like more dev get their shining glory when they deserve it. Talking about devs that deserve their shining glory. Someone be a bit skeptical about this. The next segment is Ubisoft games.
Which one, Nate? All
wow,
of them.
This is it. So, as we are aware, Ubisoft are not the best releasing a game day one and it being happily and good. It's just not. We've all seen it in the past. Watch Dogs 2, we've seen Siege, For Honor, Division, Ghost Recon. All of them, they're all renowned for being terrible at the start. But
you could line them all up on a board and then throw a dart, and whatever game you hit has had a second chance.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yep, they all have, because they've all had a year one. They always follow the same thing, a year one update, and the game is fantastic. It's actually really good playable. Wildlands was the biggest one for me personally, because not Wildlands, Breakpoint and all that. Well, take the same game. It was garbage at the start, and then year one hit it, and then it's what you wanted day one. So, if any of you guys had any experience with this, or was it just me?
Just you. I didn't take a chance on it.
To be fair, the only Ubisoft IP that I ever really played were the Rayman games. It's not something I'm aware of, but they're the only like games that I've seen them release that just were good from the get-go. There were no like problems that I'm aware of, unless you guys know if there were any problems with the Rayman games.
Yes, there was one huge problem with the last Rayman game. It was released on the Wii U. So it got kind of like stupidly popular when they finally ported it to other consoles, didn't they? Yeah, that was their issue there, is they backed the wrong horse.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's a fantastic game.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's the only series they get right first time. Like,
yeah, I mean,
the only other ones, just think, whilst they released, that's been decent day one. The South Park games, I guess.
Oh,
South Park games were good little RPGs. I'd never had an issue with them. It's literally what you expect from a South Park game, and can't complain.
But that's because Trey and Matt Parker are so involved. They're like, we are not, like, you cannot release this. So they're so protective of the IP. Like, that's what delayed Stick of Truth for years, wasn't it? They were just like, we're not happy with the game. And then Ubisoft's like, we got to release it. And they're like, no, we're not happy with the game.
Yeah, it's like, we're not happy. You're reworking this bad boy. And
Not
they
a lot of
did.
people have power other than Disney.
Also, the
You're
the
going to release this game
Yeah,
in
exactly.
this state.
Mhm.
Not happening.
Imagine if more people did this. Amazing. But the only other game I could think of was Scott Pilgrim's arcadey side scroll and beat 'em up.
I said this before though. There's smaller titles. It's like they leave the devs alone and they just publish it.
Yeah.
So like Child of Light in that, the Rayman,
yeah.
other stuff, they're just kind of like, yeah,
off
you
you
work
go.
on your cutesy little game. Yeah, we're not gonna bug you because we don't think it will sell. And then people love it and it does well. And then the games that they get super like handsy on and hands on, you know, is the ones like For Honor for me was a big one. That game was freaking broken, like beyond broken. Like the Assassin's class for the for the Knights, my goodness, could just like two-shot any class. It was pay to win.
Yeah,
it was pay to win, which was really, really bad. Like you bought a certain poison dagger and it was just like shiv, that's it, dead.
Yeah,
and people don't realize that. I knew a lot of people that played it like, oh no. I'm like, wait till you come across, and then they'd be like, oh yeah, this is garbage. Like I cannot, like no amount of skill could fix that game.
No,
it was just loot based to the
couldn't do it.
extreme, and it wasn't supposed to be.
No.
It was supposed to be like, I'm a samurai, I'm really good with a samurai. You're a crusader, let's have at it.
Yep.
Or you're a Viking.
And this is the part where I will give them praise, because For Honor especially did it amazing. So they did their year 1 update. It was refined. It wasn't almost there. They went, how can we get a player base? We give it free. They had a free edition, and then they actually gave away the standard edition for free just before they announced whatever
Marching Fire?
That's it, Marching Fire, their expansion.
With China?
And
yeah,
and fantastic. I really enjoy it every now and then when I jump onto it. Again, for Rainbow Six Siege, exactly the same thing.
Oh,
everyone said that was going to be the best FPS, and it wasn't. Then what? A year, maybe a year and a half later, the resurgence came again.
Yeah, I have a story about
Siege is
that.
massive. Yeah.
Go on.
So I was still working in events for Game, and my friend worked for Ubisoft, and he always teamed up with Game. We had a really good working relationship with him. And one of the games he had to show off in Insomnia, which is UK-based kind of, what would you compare it to? PAX, I guess, but bigger. Well, not bigger, but more AAA. Obviously not bigger. And he was like, when we were planning it, he was like pretty much bricking it. He was like, I have to do Siege. They're making me do Siege. And then like just before we went, he was like, I'm doing Siege. And I'm like, what happened? I thought Siege died. And he's like, have you not heard? It's like esports. We had a massive year 1 patch, the gold edition, yada yada yada. And he's like, the player base, and he told me it was like something like 500,000 it dropped to like millions of players all of a sudden. And he's like, it was one of the biggest comebacks Ubisoft have had, where it just went from like the garbage game that no one would touch to like for a long time, it was like top tier FPS esports.
Yeah.
It like took over the esports scene for a little while. That is a prime example of a second chance game, because that could have killed the Rainbow Six franchise, because we already waited like what, 2 console generations for a Rainbow Six game. Or there was a really bad one on 360, I think.
There's been a few bad ones, but yeah. And if anyone wants to give it a go, it's on Game Pass.
Game Pass.
Game Pass.
It's not that expensive, anyways, is it?
It's not.
It's all the new operators.
It's pretty cheap. But if anyone does want to give it a go, it's on Xbox Game Pass, the best service in gaming history. I don't work for Microsoft, by the way.
Deal in gaming.
It literally is.
It's just facts. It's not even like just facts.
People can hate on it.
Facts.
Yeah, people can hate on it and be like, "Well, it's an Xbox," and it's like, who cares? Like, it's still a great service, and you don't need an Xbox to use it. So, like, just get over it. It is what it is. It's great.
I'm a prime example of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. The thing is,
EA Play is coming to it, so which brings me to one I actually just thought of on the spot, Nate. So I do have an addition.
That's fine. We go there in a second. Like you said, EA Play hits November the 10th soon.
Yeah, on next gen.
2 days, but 2 days until we get all that amazing stuff. Which like I say, it's the best. People say, "Oh, what about PS Now?" Don't get me wrong, PS Now has a massive
It has
update.
potential.
It has potential. Unfortunately, you still got to pay for that and PS Plus, which is criminal.
There's also the issue with Sony won't. I don't want to divulge this into like a Game Pass versus PS Now, but like Sony has come out publicly and said like we don't think it's viable to put our first party games on PS Now, and it's kind of sad. It's kind of and I'll use this to segue. Honest, I promise you guys. It's kind of how like Disney Plus are really hesitant to put their movies during COVID onto Disney Plus when they both companies don't seem to click that if they did it, they would add like Netflix does or Crunchyroll, they'd add that value and then like again word of mouth or influencers whatever, like even just normal word of mouth telling you mate. If you started saying like oh Black Widow man, it's been so long since and I went to you like it's on Disney Plus, you'd be like straight away Mandalorian, Black Widow, yeah, I'm downloading it, getting on there. Same as like if someone was like, "Oh, I really wanted to play Ghost of Tsushima," like it's on PS Now. They'd be like, "Oh shit, yeah, let's go for it."
Yeah.
Segue. Speaking of Disney, my comeback game is Star Wars Battlefront 2, and that was actually a positive from a major corporation because basically, that game came out and it was the most EA game that ever EA'd. It was full of microtransactions. It was pay to win, literally pay to win. It was horrible. It was such a shame. It was such a beautiful looking game, but it was microtransaction to death. To the point where like it got such a backlash on Reddit that Disney heard about it and they were just kind of like, "What did you do to Star Wars?" And it's like Disney's like the one company where EA would be like, "Oh shit!" Like they're not even scared of like governments. EA like they'll go to Belgium and go like, "There's surprise mechanics." Do you know what I mean? But Disney's like, take the microtransactions out, and the EA is like, "Yes, sir." Right away. I'm sorry, sir. I'm gonna go program that right now, boss. Do you know what I mean? Don't mess
5
with
minutes.
The mouse, the House of Mouse. Yeah.
5 minutes later, is it done? No. Bam. God, get out of here.
Gets a new programmer. Take him out now.
Out.
But yeah, that game had a huge resurgence once they removed everything and put it on EA Play. It was great. Like it's unfortunate that it will be forever scarred by those microtransactions because there are players that paid for them and now they have like
and they still have them
stupidly hard cards that will take hours still to grind for. But props to DICE, I guess, under the pressure of the mouse to fix it and doing such a great job because that actually had a really good campaign and it was one of the few games that I played on stream and on YouTube where I got genuine hate and not death threats, but like actual like you scummy man, you're supporting it, and I was like, I got a free copy, please leave me alone.
Yeah.
I literally got a free copy off EA, and I was like, please leave me alone. Yeah, the joys of working.
Yeah, it is that some like the public doesn't get it in terms of that regard. I enjoyed Battlefront 2 to a degree until, like you said, the Scar just came out.
They'll never get over that unless they reset, which they can't do because those people paid money. But it is worth, like, I'd say to people, play the campaign. Play the Starfighter game. That's actually absolutely amazing. It was the guys that did Need for Speed or Burnout they got that to program the Starfighter bit.
Yep.
And again, it's like it's on EA Play, which is on Game Pass come November 10th.
Yep.
And you can actually level up now. There's Ewok Hunt, which actually quite a surprisingly fun and scary game.
Ewok Hunt is the best thing.
Free. Yeah,
like
it's
everyone's
actually
like,
genuinely terrifying.
It is.
We need to get you on it.
It's
so scary.
And this thing, right? Everyone's like, oh, I get lightsabers and that.
No.
Go to a dark forest where you got little Ewoks jumping at you, and all you are is little stormtrooper.
It's basically Infection, right, Liban?
Yeah.
So all of you are. So I assume you've seen the graphics. The graphics are phenomenal. It's so photorealistic, and you're on Endor, so the massive trees, and it's night, and you have limited battery pack, so your like flashlight will flicker on and off, and you have these little tiny Ewoks that are hunting you.
and you
And
hear
I've
them in
never
every
been
direction.
so scared of hearing
Yeah.
Yub in my life. It's like the best. You're like
It really-
genuine
really
fear.
is.
We've like, oh god, we've jumped on stream and
Yeah.
everything. Like, oh my god. Like it
And
proper
it's
captured that.
The
Oh,
rifles
so
are
good.
so inaccurate as well. You're generally terrified because you can shoot like whoop, nope.
Yep.
Yep, yep.
Oh, it was so good.
Yeah, and they are literally around you. So like they could be like miles away, but behind you, and you're like, what is that? And you won't know how far they are away because it's a forest.
He's just here.
Oh,
Oh god, run!
yeah.
The teddy bears are coming.
I think yeah. Again, another one for the boys. I think it's gonna become a whole series at this rate.
I know, yeah.
Of the
It's
boys
no longer a
play
podcast,
X.
It's a list of what we're actually gonna play.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all this is. Just a
Yeah.
list.
So yeah, guys, if you want, you know, a YouTube series or Twitch series of the boys plays, comment in the comments. Sure, you'd love it. We got a lot. We got a lot to get through.
Or join the Discord and join us playing with
Sure.
the boys.
Sure. We have loads of fun over there on our Discord. Link
Join us.
links be down
Disclaimer: the boys is a gender neutral term we use for everyone. You don't have to actually be a boy to join the boys.
there. And Amazon, please don't
actually
strike us
probably-
for this.
That's probably important to mention.
Yeah, it really is.
Oh, they got their boys club. Like, no. It's just, you know,
The
No,
boys.
the
boys,
You
yeah.
could join. Anyone could join. Yeah.
Anyone can join.
you
Yeah.
know, what's her name from the boys is in the boys, the female. I can never say it. I'm the camera's on. I can't say names. You know this.
Yeah, I know.
Barely say my own name. I'm just gonna stop right now.
But yeah, I know exactly what you mean. The Stormfront, that one.
Ha ha ha.
No, Stormfront is the Nazi. Actually, hold on, I
yeah.
might be spoiling this. I might be spoiling this for people watching. Let's not talk about it.
We're just gonna Nate,
Slow-
when you put this on YouTube, just bleep him out.
Just cut
like-
that bit out. Yeah.
Welcome back to normal recording. But yeah,
We need to get that
we
bamboo sound
understand.
effect.
We understand what you mean though, in terms of it's not literally the boys. But
Yeah.
right. So yeah, that's all the ones that were given second chances, I think, which deserved it in their own rightful way. The big question is now though, what games do you think deserve second chance?
Well, Nando was just speaking about being on Endor, you know, in the forest at night and being scared. Or another game that I streamed this one from beginning to end. That got me real scared is The Evil Within. Right. So if you don't know what The Evil Within is, it's basically, they say survival horror. I'd say it's also psychological horror as well. It
Very
was
much.
directed by Shinji Mikami. So he was part of the creation of the Resident Evil series. So this game, right? Now, I'm not the biggest player of horror games in particular, but this game threw me for a loop, right? Some of its sequences are just a little insane. I remember at one point, and I feel like I saw it coming, yeah, where like the game asks you to investigate a picture, you're staring at a picture, and it's like, all right, this thing's about to jump out on me. But you know, me just being me, I think I'm prepared for it, but I'm just not. But what The Evil Within does really well is that and it's weird because they don't mention it being a psychological horror game, but it does it so well. Like it plays so many tricks on your mind, apart from like your standard horror and your jump scares. I feel like it just goes above and beyond in that aspect. Instead of your standard scary face or someone comes around the corner, jumps out at you, this one's like, what are you actually looking at? Because it's kind of freaking you out. So it gives you that sense of like, you could get got at any second.
Yeah.
That's what it makes you feel like you're never safe. But I absolutely loved it. It's one of those games that I bought like a couple of years ago and it just ended up on my shelf and I forgot about it. So I decided to play it from beginning to end and I just absolutely loved it. The reason I'm saying give it a second chance is because it was critically acclaimed. but the sales just didn't match. I don't know if that's just because of marketing or not a lot of people got to play it, or those sort of things. Or back then, not a lot of people, like content creators, obviously there were less of us back then compared to now.
Back then, yeah.
That there wasn't that as many videos or streams or things like that. But if you're into your horror games and you do like the psychological aspect as well, beyond just this thing is really scary, that's a jump scare, then The Evil Within definitely did it for me. It's one heck of a game.
I think it came out at the wrong time. It came out at a period where weren't
ready for it.
Survival horrors were on the decline, because of games like Resident Evil 6 did so poorly. The Silent Hills that did come out were garbage. So people just weren't up for survival horror at all. They were just like, oh, that's such a shit. It became like it's funny because a lot of survival horror was a parody of B movie survival horrors. Like Resident Evil was intentionally at first, cheesy. Like, oh, you're gonna be a jail cell. Like that was the whole thing. It was like parodying almost, but it was genuinely terrifying at the same time. Like that was kind of the twist. It became like a parody of itself, where it did become the cheesy kind of B movie that everyone's like, this is not even scary anymore. It's just stupid and frustrating, and the monsters are annoying. Like when horror, that's the thing about horror though, is if the monsters aren't scary, they're just annoying, and that's what happened
a lot.
One I'm gonna say in a minute.
Yeah.
Also came around the same time as, I know it's completely different, but the Saw games came out around that time as well. And some people say the Saw games are fun and really good to play, but I found it a bit off-putting with the dodgy ways of it playing, and that being getting stung by that, and then Evil Within coming out was it's something I wouldn't want to even remotely think about visiting. Nando, what is your?
So mine is gonna sound weird, but it is of the base. Luckily, thank you for the great segue. Mine is the Dead Space series, because that had a massive decline because EA got too involved. Dead Space was one of the rare, Dead Space 1 and 2 anyways, rare survival horrors that actually gained popularity and was genuinely scary. It's a mix of The Thing, Event Horizon, and its own unique thing, and it was so good. And then by 3, it just became what happened with them. What happened with Resident Evil? It became just an action shooter game with monsters. It literally became that. It even had co-op. The co-op was actually really good, really really good, because each player. So, spoiler-ish. One of the players was still affected by the psychological side of the horror narrative, like the Event Horizon type plot, and the other one wasn't. So you'd see different things on screen depending on which player you played, and it was really good for that. But they did the typical thing where, normally when you fight a necromorph, which is the monsters in the game, you fight one and they're really hard to kill. You had to dismember them. It was literally like The Thing. You had to burn them or dismember them, because just shooting the head wouldn't work. It would just grow a new head like on its stomach, or its stomach would open up, the kind of malarkey like The Thing. And then by 3, it would be like 20 necromorphs just coming out, and you had a machine gun and you were gunning them down, instead of using engineering tools and from the future that used plasma and everything that would sear the wound and yada yada yada. So I would love to see that have a resurgence, which is very unlikely because Visceral Games got absolutely destroyed and ripped apart by EA. But it is one I feel we need to. It ended. The DLC was brilliant. It brought back the survival horror elements for Dead Space 3. Sorry, losing my train of thought. And it ended on a cliffhanger, and I really think it either needs to be continued or just reboot it, which I'm fine with. Let's reboot it on next gen. Could you imagine? Dead Space still is a 360 game. It still holds up.
It does.
Yemi, one of our friends, recently streamed it. It holds up phenomenally. And the UI was so unique. It was in game. So the UI was in game because everything's holographic. So he'd bring up a little hologram on his palm, and that would be a UI. It was so good, guys. Honestly, I think that for me, 100%, it needs somebody else to buy it. EA just to give it a second chance. or a reboot. I'd even go for a reboot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dead Space is definitely on my list of games to play. I think the way with EA is going at the moment, you probably will see a remaster come out. I mean, they look like they're doing it for everything else. Like after Mass Effect, I think it would make sense to do Dead Space next.
I'd love it.
I think it makes a lot of sense to do Dead Space next. Obviously, I would like Fight Night, but I would love to play Dead Space. That would be that'd be pretty dope.
And if anyone hasn't played Dead Space, it's on EA Play. Guess where that's going? Xbox Game Pass.
Game Pass.
Game Pass.
Yeah, so that's the one thing of everything's on Game Pass. If you haven't played the Dead Space series, like, why not? And I guess same with Evil Within. I'm sure they hit Game Pass soon with the whole Bethesda.
Yeah, because they bought Bethesda.
Yeah, but they're definitely going to be on Game Pass. Yeah,
100%.
Now,
100% they're going to be on Game Pass.
Yeah, it'd be great. Like I said, I'd love to replay them again. Why not? I love how both you've gone towards the 18+ survival horror side. I'm going to go completely opposite. Completely. And this has actually changed. I was going to bring up something like Sea of Thieves because of the whole, it's been redone, new content. Until today. Today I played a nice 3D platformer that we all should know of called Yooka-Laylee. Yooka-Laylee did really bad. And no one touched it. No one. I got it on day one and never got around to playing it until today. Me and the family started playing it. It's really good. Yooka-Laylee is fantastic. It's got that nostalgic 3D platformer that we loved back in the 90s. It's just been, revamped with nice graphics and stuff. And I think everyone should give it a new chance.
Do you know, I think the thing with Yooka-Laylee, I think it was kind of like touted like, oh, this is like bringing back the era where people love playing games like Banjo and Kazooie, Banjo-Kazooie in particular. And I guess it just didn't meet expectations, I guess, for a lot of people.
For me, it took everything good from that era, but didn't get rid of the bad. And that's what you need to do when you do these revamps or like spiritual successors. So like, it was still the when they talked, and you were just kind of like, oh, really? In 2018, you couldn't get a voice actor? Like, come on, we had confidence. It is for an indie game, but like when you're like, oh, come on.
Yeah, it got a couple of patches, and
got the 2.5 side scroller as well.
Yeah, it had literally my childhood in the game, and I 100% think it deserves a second chance. To be honest, I was really, really, really impressed with it.
Yooka-Laylee or Banjo-Kazooie?
Oh, 100% Banjo.
I thought that's where I thought you were going. I thought you were going to be like, well, you know what? I played Yooka-Laylee and it gave me a hankering for Banjo. Come on, Xbox. Come on, Rare. Let's bring him back. I'd love to see seeing as they even took the risk of Super Tails, Lucky Super Tails,
really
good. Kind of went that kind of cutesy way again. Play it again, Game Pass. Why not a Banjo-Kazooie? Like, guys, this come on. There's obviously this is the weird thing about companies. They always think like, oh, there's no market from it. This is what happened with like Bravely Default and why the game that saved Square Enix in terms of JRPGs. They just kind of released it on the 3DS and even gave it a Western release. And we're just like, and then it sold so well. They're like, wait a minute, people like JRPGs. These companies need to. I don't know where they do their marketing, but there's definitely an audience. Like, look at Crash. Crash is back. The Spyro games, the remakes.
Yeah, they got remastered.
They did really well.
Yeah,
give it, even if it's just a remaster. Give us Banjo-Kazooie.
It's funny you mention this because Banjo trended on Twitter for a small amount of time last week. Well, this week, sorry. The reason being is basically it's someone got a Series X early and decided I'm going to play Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts on the Series X. And the reason it became trendy is because in the Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts game, they had like little quirky like hips on the loading screens, but
Yeah.
because the Series X loads it so quick, you can't see them quirky things. It's
Right.
like, oh, it's that fast. I can't actually enjoy them. Hence why it's that trending, because people found it really funny.
It's actually funny you mentioned like it saved Square Enix, Nando. This is going on a bit of a tangent. What was that game I think it was Square Enix that released where it was about a blind guy, but he was like a John Wick kind of blind guy. Like I'm getting mixed up here. I think it was
I
a
don't know where
CGI
you're going
trailer,
with
or
this.
maybe it was a cancelled game in the end.
I have no idea.
No.
Literally, I
Square
just
Enix
remember
do
a
a lot of
trailer.
like tech demo, like
Yeah.
they did for the PS5, which everyone thought was a game. They do a lot of like tech demo in engine, like
He was
cutscenes
holding like a brown bag, a lunch bag. He was in an alleyway, and he was fighting with some guy. Yeah, that's all I remember. It's a bit of a blur. I'm pretty sure it was Square Enix though.
probably.
I'm gonna find it. Now I'm intrigued.
I kind of
Now
want to
I'm very
know.
intrigued. Yeah, I'm very intrigued because I think that might have been cancelled. I swear it was an actual game.
Was it like a beat 'em up, right?
No, it was probably like a third-person open world game to some extent.
Oh, okay.
But your main character was blind.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was blind.
I
Or he was
yeah,
deaf.
not a clue.
I'm not sure. Now I'm gonna Google it.
Yeah, Google it and let us know. Obviously, anyone knows in chat what the hell he's on about, please enlighten us, because unfortunately I do not know.
I
Was it all
don't
a
either.
dream?
It was a fever dream. Now he's gonna make that game.
Yeah.
Daredevil
Now
game.
maybe I was supposed to make that game.
Yeah.
Damn, I missed the
It's
opportunity.
basically Daredevil, isn't it, by the sound of it?
Yeah, it literally does sound like Daredevil game, if I'm brutally honest. Talk about Square
Maybe it
Enix.
was.
Just going on to a small little game that most people might be aware of, but
Oh.
not many are.
Sorry, Nate.
Yes.
Okay, so I was wrong. The main character was deaf, so it was called the Quiet Man.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what it was called.
Right, okay.
Again, never
The
played it.
Quiet Man. Yeah, it came out in 2018. Who played this game?
It came out?
Yeah,
Clearly not enough. I've got a feeling
Reception.
you've lined it up perfectly. I've got a feeling this might hit the same way. Sleeping Dogs.
Oh,
Yes.
Sleeping Dogs 100% deserves it. It's like you said,
Great.
like the Quiet Man. Not many people knew it actually was a thing.
Yeah.
not enough people. Yeah.
Well, exactly, and
Yeah.
they really
Apparently I
released
did,
it
yeah.
current gen remaster, whatever they class it as. They did that again. Not many people played it. I remember, like Liban said last night, I believe, that he was trying to. Some people didn't even know about it existed. It's like, why haven't you played this? Deserves playing. It's on Game Pass.
Nando.
I don't know. Like, that game was so phenomenal. Like, people will always love and popularize Grand Theft Auto, but for me, fake LA does not hold a candle to Hong Kong or fake Hong Kong. So much more interesting kind of city to explore. The music, the fighting style. They went purposely for that kind of like Jackie Chan style of combat where you use the environment. Like they even said, like purposely, like there's a point where there's an achievement for killing someone with a swordfish.
Yep.
Like you just
Yes.
grab it and you just spear them, and like you could pull shutters down on them. It was so good. There was so much to it as well, and it was so well. I just don't know why. I just think people assumed it. People just assumed it was a GTA clone in China.
Yeah. I guess
so
from
as well.
the footage they showed, it wouldn't surprise me if people thought that, because the trailers didn't give it much much from it. But again, it's definitely one that needs to be replayed, I think.
I don't remember if it was marketed a lot though.
They made like a live action. They made like a live action little mini series, didn't they? Like of trailers.
Yeah, they did.
They got a stunt crew and everything to do it, to play the main character, the fake triad guy. but
Yeah. Yeah,
it just
no.
never went anywhere.
No, I don't.
Man, it was so good, like especially with the main character, him going up against the triads, just being a
Yeah.
bit conflicted, doing things he didn't want to do, and it was gruesome, man. Some parts
Yeah.
of that game was pretty gruesome,
Or you could
but
show
it
people's
was
faces
just
into a fan.
it was solid all around.
Yeah.
The sad thing is that there was supposed to be a sequel,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which turned
but it
into a
got
live service game as well, didn't it? Triad Wars or MMO,
yeah.
Mm.
and then just
Yeah.
sucked.
So it's crazy. So first it was supposed to be an actual sequel, picking up after the end of the first game, then Triad Wars. Then they skipped that and they just said, okay, we're going along with a film adaptation that's still in production.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
the actor
So
who
it's
plays
gonna
him, unfortunately.
be featuring Donnie Yen
Is
as
Donnie Yen a
Shen.
bit young? Isn't he a bit old?
I don't
Donnie
know. He
Yen,
doesn't
like
look like he's
50?
aged.
I was
Yeah, he
gonna
doesn't look
say.
like he's aged. Yeah.
I guess, but like Shen's supposed to. Well, it depends how long it takes place, but Shen's supposed to be like early 20s, isn't he? Mid 20s.
Amazing what
Something like that.
it's amazing what CGI can do to you, Nando. Like he's really old, but he looks young here. Damn. Masked
Oh,
completely.
yeah.
Um,
Well, half their budget's on de-aging Donnie
Yeah.
Yen.
if it
They'll
works,
do
why not?
exactly what they did to Superman's lip.
Oh God, don't remind me.
I was going to go the opposite, and I was going to do the one daily dig at a certain company. It's what they did to Peter Parker.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Completely
God.
revenge. I was gonna say on the subject of things that are getting a second chance. I know it's not a game, but Snyder Cut, seeing as Liban mentioned it, that's kind of a cool thing that's bleeding over to movies by the looks of it. Like, you know what I mean? And allegedly Star Wars as well is getting a rewrite by George Lucas himself because Disney were like, "What did you do, JJ? What did you do? What is this?" And then it's like, "Well, I didn't do anything. You made me change the last film because the CEO." Anyways, yeah, just a small little
Yeah.
tangent there. There's some second chance movies randomly coming out, isn't there? And I don't even mean like remakes, just kind of like, we'll just re-edit the original film with some extra footage.
Yeah, as long as I
I'm
don't want to.
interested in seeing the Snyder Cut. I would watch it again.
I'd give it a watch and hope that I didn't get disappointed like every other time. But if you haven't realized already, I have very little faith in things that gets remade because I've been stung once and I don't want it again. Star Wars is
That's what I mean. It's
insane.
not a remake. It's the same
But what
film
about-
just with the original script.
Well, exactly. That's the thing that scares me even more. They changed it for a reason, apparently.
No, they changed it because
But
they wanted it to be Avengers,
Oh God, no.
which is why everyone became quippy, including like this dark Ben Affleck Batman. There's like, "Why Martha?" and then became like freaking Tony Stark, just quipping every 5 seconds. There's only supposed to be one funny character really in Justice League, in my opinion, and that's the Flash.
God.
Yeah.
And then
Why
everyone
not?
just became like the funny character. Why did you say that name?
What did you
Yeah.
say, Martha?
Yes.
How do you know that name?
Do you know I was a Superman and Batman fan for years, and I even mean comics, animated series. It never clocked in my head that their mothers had the same name for
Same. Yeah.
I was like, I felt like such
Until
a
in that
moron.
moment. Yeah. Until in that moment. Yeah, exactly. It was
I felt like Batman. Why did you say that name? I was on his side. That's why when everyone was like, that was a lame thing,
Yeah.
I was there like,
mind blown.
why did he say that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, their moms have the same name. Anyways, back to games.
Yeah.
Anything
I don't have.
else?
I was gonna say, is there anything else? I'm pretty sure we kind of. Yeah.
Maybe
Okay.
one game, and we already got the announcement that it's coming. So it's saying it deserves it, but I'm gonna do my own video on it because I really, really think it's integral to the remake of Mass Effect. That Mass Effect 1 gets a second chance in the sense of do not remake that, EA. You need to do not just remaster that. You need to fully remake that game. I love Mass Effect. I am such a massive fan. I went out of my way to meet Jennifer Hale, and I never asked for autographs. I've met celebrities before. I just don't do it. Photos, selfies, nothing. But I went out of my way to meet Jennifer Hale and to get her to sign my N7 edition, a steelbook. That's how big of a fan I am, guys. And even I can admit that Mass Effect 1 needs this a complete overhaul. Like that game, you can remaster the others too, just upscale things, add some of the cut content, whatever. Give me all the DLC. That's fantastic. But one needs a facelift and a complete like game engine overhaul, because that is a painful game to replay.
Yeah.
I've done it like 7 times.
Yeah, I agree. Was there anything more on Mass Effect, Nando, or are you quite content?
Just saying that, like, yeah, like it puts. We were discussing with Sham before, weren't we? Who rated you? He even admitted like the game just like a lot of people skip over it and do the comic that came with 2, just to make the decisions, because the story is so great. Like, in my opinion, it's probably one of the stronger ones out of the trilogy. The actual the story, but that it's a game, and a game needs to be fun, and the gameplay is pretty bad in this day and age. It was all right in like 2007. It was barely playable then. Now it's just like no.
But it's like trying to play Alpha Protocol all over again. Yeah. I'll keep referencing that game, but that game was terrible.
Somebody will get it.
Yeah.
That game had potential as well.
It did, and then it never got fixed. It adds to my tragic pile.
Tragic. You need like a bin that just has tragic on it. Cut away to you throwing
tragic pile.
Yeah.
Well, that's it from me.
Yeah. Is that it from you? Anything else?
If there's a game in, well, we know how much I keep talking about Fight Night. I really want that back, man. Like, so bad. Especially when they implemented that feature when you could take like I don't know how many times I'll take a picture of my friend's face using the PlayStation camera,
the game face
put
thing
it on another boxer. Yeah, input it onto a boxer so I can actually knock him out in the game. It's just all like, it's like, I did that.
Yeah, the thing that mind blows me the most out of this, because I love the Fight Night series, they even put Fight Night Champion on EA Play, and it still holds up really well. But the thing that mind boggles me the most is UFC still exists. It game plays really well. Why not just do it? Just don't get it. It'd sell. It would sell. I know it would.
Did you guys play the single player in Fight Night Champion?
Yeah, it's amazing.
I thought it was so good.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, wow, EA actually did this.
Yeah, again. Like, this is one thing with like the Fight Night series, especially. It mind blows me. Like, they did this, but they don't do it to the other sports game.
Well, they tried putting that single player into FIFA, right? I don't know how
the journey. Don't.
Oh, okay. Back to Fight.
One sec. Tragic. Bam.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's horrendous. We wouldn't go into that, but yeah, no, Fight Night definitely does deserve some more exposure, and just give us something new. It wouldn't surprise me, because I think EA are starting to run out of ideas that was not FIFA or any other garbage pay-to-win game, that they hit next gen with a Fight Night. Imagine with, like, I don't know, Unreal 4, 5 with the Fight Night. That'd look amazing.
So,
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. When Liban kept on saying Fight Night, I thought he was talking about Def Jam Fight for New York. But that definitely needs a second.
I would like that too.
That was a phenomenal game. What a game!
So much fun.
That was incredible.
If Def Jam had a resurgence, oh man.
Oh my God! Wasn't it not too long ago? The actual Def Jam Twitter account was like, "Oh, once we hit 1 million followers or whatever, they were going to make like some big announcement," and they kept like hinting that there was going to be another game.
Oh,
But it just apparently it was just a whole bunch of nothing.
Could you do it today in today's age though with like SoundCloud rappers and stuff like that? And,
yeah.
like, Capture 6ix9ine.
Well, the worst part about it
His
is
move is he runs real fast.
the worst
Yeah.
part about it is that it wouldn't get any exposures that as well as it could because DMCA will slap you.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh man.
And
Yeah.
with the nonsense we've seen recently, like, oh, what are you playing? Oh, I'm playing Def Jam. What's the soundtrack like? Amazing. Can I hear it? No.
No, yeah. Why is it muted? Because
Yeah, you have to.
because
Imagine being a massive streamer who like there's loads, countless many, and like bring all these people in and go, oh, can I hear the soundtrack? No, you can just look at the gameplay because of, I'm gonna get my job taken down. Sorry.
Mm.
It's not gonna really sell it as much as if it was able to do everything. But that's for a
God,
whole
it's so
different
scary,
discussion.
man.
But yeah, that's the world we live in.
Man, that's so scary, man. Like,
Yeah.
but that's the thing, man. Like the it's usually the annoying companies that are holding back on some of the better IPs, and that upsets me. You know, like EA, I want to see Dead Space, I want to see Fight Night, heck, I want to see Burnout. You know, like those are the games I want to see. Then you have another like then you have like what Konami, like they're holding everything back.
Silent
Oh
Hill.
yeah.
So much.
Apart from Pez, which is the last thing I've seen. Yeah, they're holding everything else back. Metal Gear, Castlevania,
Yeah.
like
There's a buttload of them, and like you said, they release
man.
pairs every year, and obviously, out of
Yeah.
all the IPs they have, they're like, oh, we'll make a Yu-Gi-Oh game every year because that apparently sells.
Oh god, like it's so upsetting, man.
Yeah.
And like, and what even now recently, what they did was that you can't play PT on PS5. They blocked it.
Nope, you can't.
Have they?
Yeah,
You can't. It's not backwards compatible. Yeah, they blocked it.
Yep.
A week ago,
That's
it was backwards
insane.
compatible, and then they
Yeah.
just blocked it. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know, Nando. I'm so confused.
No,
I mean-
you have to tell me specifically, Liban Ali.
So
You broke
basically,
the
so
news,
it
you
was
told me.
it was a Polygon who were doing their coverage on the PlayStation 5. So whoever
Mhm.
was doing that part of it, one of the first games they tested on backwards compatibility was PT or demos or whatever. And it was working perfectly. Everything looked good. They tried it again a week later. Apparently it was updated to no longer work on PlayStation 5. So if you try to boot it up on the PlayStation 5, it will say that this game can only be played on PlayStation 4 now. On the
Wow.
icon, it will say PS4 only. It's nuts.
And is that because like everything else on the PlayStation, is it locked because of a future update?
So it's not even like PT's a full game.
No,
It's just a
Yeah, it's
demo.
just a demo. It's a
Yeah.
playable trailer. PT.
So I don't know if this is just to me it seems like pettiness on the highest level because it was working and then all of a sudden it's not. You know, if it never worked to begin with, that's different, right? But
yeah, I understand if it didn't work originally, but
Yeah.
if it works, it
if
cut
just only
down.
if just only 7 days ago it was perfect, backwards compatible, everything, and now it's not. It's like,
And did you say an update did that?
well, what probably happened is that they probably went. The only thing they probably would be able to do is that they would go to Sony and say that no, we don't want this playable on the PS5. That's the only thing I could think of.
I'm just trying to think if anyone gets a PS5, put PT on an external hard drive and and don't update your PS5 and just plug it straight in and play it. And have that. Do you remember when the people sang the PS4s with PT on it because it got took down? Imagine
Yeah.
eBay being flooded with the PS5s with PT working. Just don't update it.
Oh my god.
It could happen
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. Like even same with me, I never deleted PT because I was like, well, if I get rid of this now, I'm never gonna see it again.
That's it. It's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to keep that, but yeah, that's essentially that's basically what happened.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming they're still salty about. They must be still salty about Kojima and everything because
Oh,
that's
of
just such
course
a
they
weird
are.
flex. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
really weird flex. Yeah, to do
In the
something
world of
like that.
Konami, if they're not selling it on a pachinko machine, they're not interested.
They did a MGS3 like remake or remaster for their pachinko machines.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So updated like CGI, like it looked real good, Nando. Yeah.
It does
But it
look
was for
good.
their pachinko machines. Yeah.
It's
Pachinko
bonkers.
machines actually earn them that much money in Japan?
I
Clearly,
think their gambling division earns them probably the
More
majority.
than their games, yeah.
Way more than their
Yeah.
games, yeah.
So,
Way more than their
going
games.
on from that small tangent onto, like we said, the PS5 and next gen. To wrap it up, obviously, next gen is officially next week. I know Nando and myself are definitely looking forward to playing Yakuza. But
Yes.
what is everyone looking forward to? Just next gen in general? Is it literally just what I think it would be of the Demon Souls Miles Morales, or is there something hidden that not many people are aware of?
Well, obviously for me, yeah, definitely Demon Souls, Miles Morales, heck, even Sackboy, you know. But I'm really interested in seeing how the some of the first party PS4 games look now on the PlayStation 5, what kind of upgrades they get as well. Because I know, like, for example, like Ghost of Tsushima is running at like a locked 60 FPS. Now that becomes a different game now. Like that's like super smooth.
Yeah.
Like updated visuals as well. I definitely want to see what God of War looks like now. Like I'm assuming that's gonna get like
This is the
60
first thing
FPS upgrade.
it's the first thing I'm trying because of the whole PlayStation Plus collection thing. Like I'll have Demon Souls. I might get Miles depending on how I feel about that. But yeah, God of War is the first thing I'm going to be trying because that looks fantastic.
The weird thing, yeah, it made me think, right? Because I'm obviously not gonna play the PS4 Spider-Man or get that version because I'm done with that. It's done, right?
Yeah.
So it makes me think the disparity between, like, for example, I'm gonna want to play Miles, yeah. Like, would it make more sense to get the PS4 version and just get the free upgrade on PS5 if, which it could be possible that the PS4 version ends up cheaper, which I've seen in some places it is actually cheaper, then just straight up getting a PS5 version.
I thought it wasn't getting an
overall.
upgrade.
As far as that's what I thought.
So Miles on
One or the
PS4
other.
gets a free upgrade
Oh,
for
for
PS5.
just Miles, right? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. If you want the PS4 Spider-Man remastered version, then
Gotta
you
buy
need
the
to get
Ultimate.
the Miles Ultimate Edition, and you'll get that for free on PS5. Or you could get it for like 20 pounds or something like that.
Right, okay.
Something like that, yeah. But games like Miles, Sackboy, you can play them on. You'll get
Everything
the
else
free
not
upgrade for
Demon
PS5.
Souls, right?
Demon Souls is just PS5.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't get that anywhere else. Yeah. So that's just like the kind of thought process I'm having right now. It's like I might as well just get the PS4 version because I'm gonna get the PS5 version for free anyway. So
yeah.
Why spend more?
Why is it? It's just got the word PS5 next to it. And literally the only reason, I'm not lying, the only reason I'd buy Miles Morales is literally for that Spider-Verse suit.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, the game looks fantastic, but Spider-Verse had a big impact on me because it's the best Spider-Man film ever made now. And now to say that originality has gone into a video game, I'm like, yep, take my money.
Oh god, I'm sorry, I'm gonna go on another tangent. Actually, no, this is kind of related. To be fair, so we're talking Spider-Verse, right?
Mhm.
So obviously the whole thing with the upcoming Spider-Man film and stuff, they're gonna be doing like a Spider-Verse kind of thing.
The live action one, right?
You guys would, yeah, is that something you guys would actually like to see? Like have the Spider-Men, I'm gonna say Spider-Man from the previous two films.
So Toby and Andrew, yeah. I'd be down with it.
Show up in this one, yeah, because obviously Jamie Foxx is going to be in it. That's confirmed as Electro. So it makes me think, obviously, because Doctor Strange is involved as well.
Yeah,
that there is going to be this whole multiverse thing.
Yeah,
and you might get the other two Spider-Man.
I said this when the first time I watched Into the Spider-Verse that they should do this. The only stipulation I have is that Tobey Maguire makes meme faces, and then I'll be fine with it.
Bully Maguire.
Huh? Tobey Maguire?
You've never seen Bully Maguire?
You've never seen Bully Maguire? The
Right.
memes.
I've seen them. Because you cut out for me on my the first bit, I was like, "What Maguire? What?" Yeah, I've seen it.
Bully Maguire. Yeah, no, definitely. I agree. Yeah, he needs to make
Yeah.
the meme face.
Yeah, just do that, and all is literally all is fixed for me. But if we actually get it when we want it, that's the story.
I think they might actually cost Miles as well.
That would be don't give me these possibilities. That'd be amazing.
So in the world,
I watch.
Go on, sorry.
Okay, go for it. No. Go ahead.
So I was gonna say, if they do a live action one though, is it not because like Into the Spider-Verse, it's blatantly obvious that like the Peter B. Parker is essentially Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Do you know what I mean? Like it's all the nods to him and everything, the punch in the car, the upside down kiss with Mary Jane.
Yeah.
Are we not thinking that maybe that is the role that he's gonna be Peter B. Parker, and Andrew Garfield is like kind of like the ultimate, because he is the ultimate universe Spider-Man, where it's like genetically engineered instead of radioactive and blah blah blah. Do you think they're gonna try to like stick close to what Into the Spider-Verse was doing and have like the really older Tobey Maguire and then the kind of mid?
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
I think they might switch it up a bit. I think what you might get is God, I'm forgetting the actors' names now. Okay, who was the actor who did the Amazing Spider-Man?
Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield, yeah.
That's it. So I think I'm not too sure about his role, but Tobey Maguire, I think what they could do to switch things up is that he could be like a Spider-Man that comes in, but he looks the same as maybe Tom Holland's Uncle Ben, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So like, I'm trying to weave it together, but it's not making sense in my head. But like he could like show up and then Tom Holland could confuse him for Uncle Ben or whatever, because he's that world's Uncle Ben instead of Spider-Man.
And then it all gets linked up from that. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, but I'm not quite sure what they'll do with Andrew Garfield. But I would expect him to be there because Electro's there.
Yeah,
it's the same actors. Like, yeah.
I'm sure they will have their way with it, as long as it doesn't go onto a tangent and ruin the series like they've done with the other two. Might be alright, but you just never know.
Yeah, the biggest issue is obviously just having too much at once. But they were obviously able to pull that off with Endgame, so so like maybe it won't be such a big deal.
Probably not. Well, other than that slight tangent of movie differences stuff because of Miles, it's been really good, guys. It's obviously been nice to catch up with you guys and actually, spend some time and make some content together as the boys.
The boys.
The boys.
I'm sure we'll get another podcast in after the release of the PS5 and the Series X, and we'll tie something in together with that.
Absolutely.
I think we'll wrap it up there. Like I said, guys, all the links will be in the descriptions below with mine, Liban's, and Nando's social media, Twitch streams, YouTubers, all that jazz. And until next time, we'll see you soon.
See you later.
See you later, guys.
See ya.
Bye.